But I think as a student running the production piece as well. So again, thank you all for helping out and putting this on for our community. Goodness, man.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out. The regular meeting of February 2024 of the Carmichaels Area School District Board of Education is now in order. Please. Okay, an executive session was held this evening from 7:05 to 7:46 p.m. Please rise for a moment of silence, followed by our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Buckton. Here. Dr. Cross.
Here.
Mrs. Kroll. Here. Mr. May.
Here.
Mr. Manhart.
Here.
Mr. Pratt.
Here.
Mrs. Chu. Here. Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Sopel.
Here.
Approval of minutes of the regular board meeting held 18 January 2024. Need a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Unfinished business, Mr. Warcraft. Additions to the agenda? Remarks from visitors? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, carries unanimous. Okay, now, any remarks from visitors? Okay, thank you. Mrs. Trebek, student representatives?
Thank you, Mr. Menhart. We have two seniors with us tonight, Gabby Paycheck and Levi Crampy, both of which are in our anatomy and physiology 2 class, and this week went to Allegheny General Hospital for their open heart surgery. So they'd like to talk to you a little bit about the experience that they had.
Go ahead. Level is.
Hello, everyone. Like Mr. Beck said, my name is Levi,
I'm Gabriella.
and we're just here to talk to you about our experience at Allegheny Hospital and just how much of an impact it made on us in our class. So, again, we got to go to Allegheny General Hospital and observe a mitral valve repair, and it was a really great experience, and we're going to kind of dive into it a little bit deeper of what we got to see.
So we observed the mitral valve repair, and it took about 3 hours. We got to see the perfusionists, the physician's assistants, the surgical technicians, and kind of what they do in there and what their important roles are. And it was a really good experience. And they even gave us a little wave.
So kind of what you're seeing here is the glass that they had. Right below that is going to be where the patient was. So we were right over by all the doctors, the physicians, assistants, everybody there right over the operating table. And then they actually had, the surgeon had a camera on him, so we could actually see what he was looking at and everything else. And that was actually on a screen that was kind of off to the side there, so we could actually watch what he was looking at. So other than that, if you guys have any other questions about that, we just wanted to kind of bring it up and just let you guys know that we had this experience and we were just really happy to and wanted to share about it.
So this was life-changing? Not, I know it was.
For the patient, it was.
How about you? Did this like point you in a direction?
So both of us want to go into nursing, so I definitely think it's beneficial for our future career, for what we want to do. And that just kind of gave us more of a deep dive of something that we can't really learn in a classroom, of the actual clinical setting of what we're looking at, and especially the different roles that everybody plays in the kind of the operating room itself.
Young lady, what do you think?
I mean, it definitely showed, like, the whole learn from the TV shows. Like, it's not that dramatic in actual real life. And it was really cool to be able to watch it rather than watching the animated version of an open heart surgery on a smart board. So.
Any questions?
Comments, concerns, anything else?
Thanks for coming out, guys.
Thank you guys for having us.
And Levi won't say it too, I do want to tell you, Levi had just earned his Eagle Scout.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, administrative report.
Thank you, Mr. Menhart. Had the opportunity to attend the Penn West California Community Leaders Luncheon Great opportunity to sit with the leaders of Penn West, sit with some of the leaders that sit on their board. I've also sit with some of the professors in the leadership through CalU. One of the great things, I get to meet with their teaching department. We're going to work together, I think, with some local schools to improve student teaching, do some things to help even improve them getting teachers. If you haven't heard, the year before, Pennsylvania had certified 20,000 teachers. This past year, they've certified 5,000. So it's significantly dropped off. 5,000 teachers already certified in the state. Yeah. So want to work with Cal a little bit to try to upgrade their program. And you know, we don't really have money to market, but certainly the university does. And one of the suggestions I made to them was use our schools as their marketing. You know, we have some unique programs that some kids might want to get in and see and get to teach. So we're going to have a meeting with them to try to set up some things that we can do to work collectively to help, you know, recruit with teaching. We work real close with Waynesburg University as well, so certainly we'd like to work with them. But we have to put the word out to get teachers. They're just not coming in the fields, as Dr. Martin had said. So we have to do some things to, you know, to create our future for the teaching profession. So it was a great luncheon to meet and talk with the leaders there. Another thing, thrilled to announce, we've been awarded the 23-24 Innovation Grant by the Claude Worthington Benham Foundation and the EQT Foundation, along with Equitrans Midstream Foundation. I wrote a grant called Wings of Discovery, Transforming Nature Education. With that, we received a $5,000 grant that we're going to use to upgrade our outdoor classrooms. We have an area where the ash trees have fallen. It's a perfect area for bird observation. With that money, we're going to build a bird observation deck that we can have kids on, put some webcams out there where kids can watch from the classroom, even get some binoculars and thermal devices so they can see where birds are at. So it was through IU1 that I wrote this grant, and we were awarded it. So it'll be a nice project that we're going to get started down there hopefully this spring. Another opportunity, we had the chance to take our whole administrative team to IU1. I mentioned to you about the new law with the 180 or 990 law that's in effect about education. We got to go as a team and meet with other teams throughout the IU just to talk about anything that we can and can't do with it. And I don't think anyone was looking at it as a way to work less. But I think the law, from what we talked here, allows us to be to have more flexibility as far as how we're teaching and what we're teaching. Even had some conversations about the graduation requirements that every school across at least our IU area uses. The graduation requirements that we all are using is actually a private school section of the PA code. So we're talking about some ways that we can use that, and I'll brief you on that later. I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up. But it was really great to get our team there. And it's nice to see our administrators being leaders as far as this goes, as ideas on how we can use that as well. Laura Highland was there, AG, Jefferson, Avella, they were a good bit on. They were online as well. But I do want to commend our administration as far as being leaders in the forward thinking and how we can use this to make education better for kids. And then the final thing I wanted to announce that Carmichaels has been recognized as an award winner for the 2023 Hunger Hero Awards, and Kurt is here through Sodexo. But it is really a prestigious accolade presented by the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. With that, our programs included school meals, our summer food services, our after-school meals, our weekend backpack, school pantry initiatives. That's all been significant in the summer of 23 and then leading into the school year. So do want to give Sodexo a big round of applause. You know, kudos for that and us receiving that award. There weren't a whole lot of schools in the local area that received it. We were one of them that did, though. So, Kurt, great job with your staff, and thank you for everything that you do. With that concludes my report.
Elementary principal report. Mr. Berry is ill. Middle school principal, Mr. Paul.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple quick things. I did want to let you guys know that I spoke to Mr. Gallagher from the IU when we went to that meeting. Our middle school has been taken off PSI monitoring for the year. That's something that we were placed on last year due to some attendance issues from the year 2020 to 2021. So we are removed off that. We kind of just need to fill out the data for the rest of this year. Another thing I wanted to mention to you guys is our 8th graders went to Ohio Pal yesterday, presented presentations on their climate survey and the thermocron project that they had. They worked on this for about a month. They presented to the staff at Ohio Pow yesterday. We will have a couple students presenting to you guys next month. It's a great opportunity. I think it's a great partnership with them. Other than us, the only closest school, Mr. Allen said, was Somerset High School, and that's their AP class that goes to this out of the high school. So our kids are very lucky that we get to do this. They get to tour the facilities after they present, get some feedback on that. So I'll have a little bit clearer idea of what they did for you guys next board meeting. I would also like to mention Caitlin Kramer. She was the winner of our local spelling bee that we had a couple weeks ago. She was getting ready to compete at the state level. Also in my report is the attendance. It's called Study at 92, the discipline reports, and my walkthroughs and observations. And with that, that concludes my
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Senior high school principal report, Mrs. Gerbeck.
Thank you, Mr. Renhart. I just want to point out a couple quick things. I'm working with the Career and Technology Center. Mrs. Sleesman and I have been working with CMU, Carnegie Mellon University. They have students, they don't have an educational program there, but they have students that are giving back to schools. And one of the things we're working with them on is creating a county-wide alumni database where we would collect information from alumni and then use them in different programs. We do our senior alumni panel. And then coming up in March, we have our career exploration fair. So we would use them to help us with events like that. And we're also looking at students that have went through the Career Center with them coming into the shops and giving back too. So that's been part of our conversation. That's a work in progress. We were talking about ways to have the schools in the county compete to see who can get the most alumni. So we're really looking at getting the word out and then just getting a database that's useful for our students, of course. And that brings me to my March 7th event. This is the second year in a row. We're going to do a career exploration fair. This is where we have our students meet with professionals in the field that they're interested in. We survey before we set it up, and then we bring in professionals within their field, and they listen to the professionals, their education, how they got in the field, things that they learned along the way. But they also interview them, so it's a dialogue, good communication piece for them. We're adding 11th graders who did that last year. We're letting it be a little bit more flexible where they're going to talk to some of the same people and new people in the fields that they're interested in. In 10th grade, it'll be their first time doing this with the question part. I've been in classrooms. I apologize for my typo at the end there. I wasn't here to proof it. And that concludes my report.
Any questions? I have a question.
Sure.
We had someone in the audience bring up last month about a program about human trafficking.
Yes.
Have you looked into
Yes,
that?
so I have been emailing with the lady name that we were given, and we are scheduling March. We're between the 22nd and 23rd. We were just trying to solidify a date. So yes, that will happen mid-March.
Okay, thank you.
And that's for middle school and high school.
Great. Technology reports, Mr. Townsend.
Thanks, Mr. Menard. Tech for tomorrow, Mr. Moorcraft, Colton, my assistant, and myself, we're going to travel to Pittsburgh to go to an IT conference where they're going to showcase the latest trends in technology, maybe pick up some, few ideas of what other, what's out there and what's on the cutting edge that maybe we can, deploy in our district. We also met with a company called GDC IT Solutions. Met with the CEO and the business development manager here at the Hartley Inn and was exploring Chromebook deployment and a one-to-one environment. We were fortunate enough during COVID to become a one-to-one school district. Now the challenge is how do we maintain that, be fiscally responsible, and continue to do what's best for our students. So we're looking into different leasing options versus purchasing options and trying to do all my homework and get all my ducks in a row so that when I do present something to the board for consideration that I crossed all my T's and dotted all my I's. Mercado Security, our security system, Jefferson Morgan, our neighboring district, was in. They were evaluating our security system. They had purchased a full security suite, I think 2 years ago, and are just, I guess it was very upsetting for them. So they're actually looking at a whole new system. They used our district as a model district for their solution. They are going with the same security system that we have. So I think we made a wise choice, and the board made a wise choice in going with that. Officer Miller was involved in the meeting, and I think their SRO was a little bit envious of some of the things our system, some of the capabilities our system has to keep our students and staff safe. So it's an awesome system, and I can't say enough good things about it. Continuing on that same trend, our door project has been completed. So now our access control teachers and staff can use every door, and Officer Miller knows if any door is ever propped open or opened unauthorized. So that keeps us safe moving forward. I was part of something today called the Perennial Project. Mr. Moorcraft and Mrs. Moorcraft in her STEM lab invited me up. They're doing what's called Portals to the Past. They're taking 3D scans of buildings in our community, and they're using the Hartley Ann and the Armstrong drugstore in town, and they scanned them and they were reconstructing them as they were when they originally were constructed, late 1800s, early 1900s. And the students are then building a video game where they can wear virtual reality goggles, or anyone can wear a virtual reality headset and go back in time, literally, and explore these places. And it's intense. I mean, I was humbled by the experience, and it's those students and Mrs. Moorcraft, they pull it off. It's going to be something special, and they're putting in a lot of work, and it's something not to be taken lightly. So I was shocked today when I observed that. And last but not least, the gym system, our acoustic baffles are in. I'll turn it over to Mr. Franks for the installation, obviously with the help from the technology department. And we're going to try to get that done as soon as possible to improve the sound quality in that space. And any questions? That concludes my report.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You that were 1-to-1, what grade of 3 seniors? Kindergarten?
Yeah, pre-K.
Pre-K. So are those machines that pre-K have the same as the machines that the seniors have?
At the very beginning they were. We have started slowly cycling them out. Last year we replaced the sophomores here in the high school with a new updated version of the same device. Still a Chromebook, but it's what we found last year was more durable, longer lasting, that kind of thing. We're trying to improve upon that. But to date, yes, pre-K through 12 is all the same, save for the juniors this year.
I guess my other question is for Mr. Berry, so
Okay.
do that.
Sure.
I just wanted to know how effective are they in pre-K,
I do know a change from last year to this year. We asked the pre-K through, and I don't want to speak for Mr. Berry, but I think it was through grade 3, to leave the devices in the classroom versus the students carrying them to and from home. We see in our department a lot of repairs, a lot of damage, and a lot of that's done either in transit or while the devices are at home. So for the sake of financial responsibility, we thought if we kept them in-house, we could extend the life of those devices and be less of a cost to the district.
Thank you.
How's that worked out?
So on the repair side of things, it's worked out well. A lot less repairs for that demographic of students, pre-K to 3. And I believe they did go home for fit days or for things like that nature when we had inclement weather. But hopefully that's behind us.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else? Okay, maintenance report. Mr. Franks.
Thank you, Mr. President. As Mr. Townsend stated, the sound panels, the dampening panels are in. That's one of the great things there on the wall. There's 500 of those. So we're in the process of making the metal hangers right now. They'll be between and above the truss work in the gymnasium. Their purpose is to just stop the echo. We'll find out how it works when we get it all together. It's quite a project. I expect it to span a few weeks. Beyond that, we've been doing the normal repairs, but we do all, for the new members, we do all our refrigeration work and most of our control work and all of our electrical and lighting work in-house. We did a walk-in cooler compressor at the elementary. We did a heat pump repair at the Nemacolin and Helping House. Carl and Gary replaced a split drain pipe in the back of the auditorium that was leaking in front of the band room. Spanning between floors, quite a job, but that's accomplished. A stubborn clog in a floor drain was jetted with our own equipment in-house. Nate and Pete took care of that down at the elementary floor in a floor drain last week. This dry weather has been a blessing. It allowed us to get on the baseball and softball fields very early. They are beautiful. We had a little bit of clay restoration done on the mound and the home plate area. Our outside guy, Dave Demiak, with technical assistance from Chuck Gasty, we laid a couple hundred clay bricks into the field. Made it, it's top notch at this point. I don't know that much about softball, but I know flat, straight, and soft is supposed to is right, So, and all that besides normal everyday cleaning and maintenance in the, with the intent of supporting our staff and students, if there's any questions.
Yeah, I have a question. How are we with the roof on the field house? I guess that was a real mess, and you said you patched it, but where do we go from there?
Well, we were exploring, there are a couple grants out there, and that's one of the things I was exploring. But the hardware wise, we had some leaks at the start of in this last wet season. We were trying to use, I am not a roof professional, but we were trying to use a recommended product and found it to be not sufficient to maintain the roof. After doing some research, we put a 3-foot wide, 40-foot long patch of roofing material adhered the proper way over top of the leak, and it has repaired it, and I expect it to stay repaired. However, in the future, I would like to do what is called a pour-on coating. It involves 2 layers of material with a layer of fabric in between. The companies that do this guarantee then the roof from that point 25 years against leaks. It's the, I believe, economical long-term approach. It's much more economical than tearing the roof off and replacing it, because our substrate, although we have suffered through these leaks, our insulation and our substrate is really in good shape. If it had a wear surface replaced on it with this coating system, I believe it would give us many years of service. And it's just, we had difficulty getting the patches, the correct material and the correct application done during the wet season. So right now you should have a dry weight room and a dry field house. And if we can get that system done at some point through maybe even this summer, as early as this summer.
System, you're talking in-house or?
No, it's going to be a contractor.
Okay, all right.
I currently have information from 2 different companies. I'm looking for a third.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
And I'm looking for information from a third so that I can get current prices, and then we will have to go out to bid for it because it's going to be at a dollar figure that has to be bid.
Mr. Buckton?
Mr. Franks, is that EPDM roof up there now, or is it ballast and pitch?
It is EPDM, fully adhered.
Okay?
Okay, no, that's good.
Any other questions? Okay, thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Okay, committee reports, human resources, Mr. Sokol.
Mr. Menard. Motion to approve the 2024-25 school calendar as presented.
Okay, do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with Blueprints for early learning programs effective July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to approve the agreement with WVU School of Nursing effective February 5th, 2024 to February 4th, 2034 as presented.
Okay,
I have a question. It's probably for Michael. So, in looking at the contract, I don't see any indemnity language. Do we feel that we have adequate coverage? I mean, my only concern is that we place a student in a medical situation with WVU, right? And if something happens to go wrong, you know how that goes, right? Everybody that's in the room is going to be named. If we're not physically doing anything, we're just observing, taking notes. Certainly, you know, we would all love to see an indemnity in this agreement, but I don't see that. So given that, and with the liability being knock for knock, that everybody's responsible for themselves, do we feel that if that type of scenario were to take place, that we're okay?
I haven't been given the contract to review, so I can't comment on that. I don't know what the provisions are in terms of assigning liability to a particular party.
We
Yeah.
do require them to give our office the certificate of insurance. Before the students would go down there, because we have somebody similar to Princeton, so we're sure.
That would be separate though. The certificate of insurance isn't the same as the indemnity.
And I'm not sure he has seen any like the old insurance policy.
Well, I mean, and sincerely, like, I think this aligns with your vision of creating, you know, real world experiences for our students outside the classroom. So I love it, I do. I just, when I saw that, I thought that could be a real sticking point, you know, at some point, so.
Yeah, now this isn't, our students aren't doing, like, this is WVU sending student nurses to us.
Okay, so in the,
Is that what it?
in the reps, it talks about us sending affiliates to theirs for field experience as well. It's a swap,
Okay.
the way it reads.
We haven't sent anyone out to WVU to do this. It's always just been with students coming in, and I don't know if that's standard language that we had before in that, but, like I said, that's certainly something we're looking at. We want to do those kind of things, but we haven't sent any students.
Oh, I was excited for you. I thought, because you talked about that.
I know.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I
the
do.
way it
I
reads.
do
It's
love
a
it.
swap.
Yeah, yeah. But it's all been them sending student nurses to us, and they're under the care of our registered nurse as far as, that they don't do any emergency procedures or anything like that. It's all, they will help with, you know, eye, hearing, and tests and that sort of.
Sure.
But not other emergencies. But we've never had any issue. We've had them in the past for many years. And it's not something that was brought up. It's certainly something I can ask them, and just say I had a question from a board member about, and can ask them about it. And if there's something that does need to be approved further, we can bring that back to the board to add to it.
And if we're not going there, I don't think it even, that indemnity.
Yeah, right now, no, we're not, we're not sending students.
Okay.
At this, like I said, at this point, if that's the case, then we'll draw some other kind of agreement to do that, so.
Okay, any other, second to the motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passed.
Motion to accept the retirement notice of Lisa Weaver as the superintendent's secretary effective April 10th, 2024.
Second,
Second.
any questions?
I'd like to make a statement. Lisa was a great employee. It's a long time coming with the retirement, but she was an absolutely great employee, and really was.
I don't think she missed a day of work in 30 years.
I don't believe so.
No, wait a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to offer Reed Long a long-term substitute grade 4 ELA position with a prorated salary and terms per the professional contract retroactive back to January 6, 2024.
Second.
26.
January 26, 2024.
Second.
Any questions?
And I just say, these are teachers, these are substitutes that have been in here in past the 90-day mark. Typically, when they're in there, the 90-day mark, and we give them long-term, and then they get the benefits for the second half of the year. So it's something that we typically do for both positions. So just so you know, that's what we're voting on.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to offer Lois Morai a long-term substitute computer position with a prorated salary and terms per the professional contract retroactive back to January 26, 2024.
You have a second.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve Ryan Kroll to attend the Glazier Football Clinic on March 1st through the 3rd, 2024 in Pittsburgh.
You have a second to the motion.
Second.
Any questions?
I have a question procedurally with the form. What is the actual process, step by step? And the only reason I ask that, it's not to be facetious about it, But in all of the requests for travel forms that we have from last meeting and this meeting, like, signatures are missing. I think most importantly, like, the budget aspect is missing. You know, we're good at saying, you know, who wants to go, where they want to go, and what it's going to cost. But the way the form reads to me is we also describe, you know, how much of this was budgeted and is in our budget. Where is it at from a GL code within the budget? Is it general funds versus grant funds? And then, you know, maybe even more importantly than that is the superintendent's signature, you know, saying, yeah, I approve this. So just kind of procedurally, I'm not sure, you know, and there's multiple forms. There's one from updated from 2004, and then these are updated 2014. It says there's a reverse side, but there's not. So I'm just concerned that, you know, we're seeing what we want to do, but we're not seeing, did we budget for it? Where's it at in the budget? And that the proper signatures from the rank and file administration.
Well, I'll make sure all the forms are updated on that too. Now, with that was budgeted, it is budgeted out of the athletic director's fund. That is in there every year, so I'll make sure those get placed on there as well. And typically, I don't sign until the board approves, so that's why my signature's not on there as far as approving. Because I can't sign it until you approve. But yeah, I will make sure our secretaries have updated forms. I'll make sure when those forms come in, I'll let my secretary know to make sure they're filled out with budget information and all that. We'll make sure we keep that all too. But I can tell you this is budgeted through the athletic director.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve Craig Miller to attend crisis intervention training on May 13th through the 17th, 2024 in Waynesburg.
Okay, we need a second to that motion.
Second.
Okay, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with CAEA as presented.
Okay, second to the motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to approve the request of Mrs. Holloway to attend the PASBO annual conference in Hershey, PA, March 5th through the 8th of 2024.
Do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay, any questions?
The reason there isn't a cost online is because we haven't secured a room yet, because they booked all of Hershey Lodge and hotel, so I'm on the list at the moment. But I wanted to make sure you guys were able to see it and approve it, and if you have questions. But once we get over
It's wrestling season. Okay, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Budget and Finance, Mr. May.
Motion to approve Teacher Appreciation Week, May 2024. We want to provide a luncheon prepared by the cafeteria and a memento with a cost not to exceed $30 per staff member during Teacher Appreciation Week.
Okay, do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call?
Mr. Buckton?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Dr. Kraus?
Yes.
Mrs. Kroll?
Yes.
Mr. May?
Yes.
Mr. Pratt?
Yes.
Mr. Reinhardt?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
And Mr. Sutton?
Yes.
Unanimous. Motion carries.
Number two, bank signature cards. Motion to approve the bank signature cards as presented.
Okay, we need a second to that motion.
Second.
Anyone have any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Number three, IU budget. Motion to approve the 2024-25 IU budget in the amount of $549,552 and the district share of $6,164.07 as presented. Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call?
Mr. Buckton?
Yes.
Dr. Kraus?
Yes.
Mrs. Kroll?
Yes.
Mr. May?
Yes.
Mr. Pratt?
Yes.
Mr. Meinhardt?
Yes.
Mrs. Shu?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Sippel?
Yes.
Unanimous.
That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. May. Activities and athletics, Mr. Kraft.
Number one, field trips. Motion to approve the request for field trip items below as presented. A, 7th grade science, May 16, 2024.
Okay, do you have a second to the motion? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Transportation, building, and grounds, Mr. Buckton.
Mr. Pratt.
Okay. Mr. Pratt.
Number one, facilities. Motion to approve the request for facility items A and B below as presented. A, community Easter egg hunt, football field, cap gym, March 26, 2024. B, S4 Slovakian Library Gym, February 23 and 24, 2024.
Okay, do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Technology, curriculum, and instruction, Mr. May.
I don't see any items underneath there, but I would like to set a meeting. I believe we were talking about maybe putting some teachers in the next meeting.
Yes.
So I don't know how we want to do that. Do we want to do it at this meeting?
Well, maybe we can get together afterwards, and then Mr. Warcraft will set up that.
Yeah, because we're going to set up a committee meeting and have a couple of things,
Okay.
building and grounds will have to bring to the board, so we'll have to set a committee meeting before the next meeting anyway.
Okay.
So
That'll
we'll
be-
set it then.
Yeah, we want to keep moving forward on this. Okay, thank you.
Business manager, board secretary report.
Thank you, Mr. Meinhardt. Motion to approve the bills for payment in the amount of $1,617,720.37 as presented.
Second.
You need a motion.
I'm sorry.
So
We have a
moved.
motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any questions?
I have just a questions in general. So, like, we've got $1.6 million in spending packages tonight to approve. And when I went through every single one of the line items, 146,000 of that is discretionary spending, like non-obligated, just discretionary spending. And I'm not here to nitpick what the items were, the services that were rendered. My only question or concern is, how as a board, when we discuss our fiscal management and responsibility, how do we know what is budgeted and how much is left in those budgets? I'm particularly speaking to the $146,000 that we're asking to pass tonight. How do we know that?
That's something I can give you a report on. The things you get are typically just for that current month. But I can do updated reports for you if you want to see how much is left in those accounts. And then if something is unbudgeted, and I can make a note on there that it's unbudgeted for a separate motion is typically what we would do. If it
Okay.
wasn't in the budget to begin with and it was a cost, then it would be a separate board motion.
And it's probably not an issue now, but I'm assuming as we get closer to the end of the year, there's less in the budget, you know what I mean, it may be, but I just want to make sure that I'm with you, I want to make sure I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's, what I don't want to do is, we just come and we just pass and, we spend and we wait till the end of the year and find out where we're at. I mean, I feel like, the expenses that we're being asked to approve, particularly on the discretionary side, should be supported by the budget, on a month-by-month basis so that we know. I think having the chart of accounts along with the budget to be able to say, okay, here's where these bills are, this is where they fall within the budget and the chart of accounts, this is how much we budgeted for, this is what we spent, and this is what's left. I think that certainly helps, fulfill our obligation from a fiscally responsible stance. It's hard to say, and don't get me wrong, I'm not nitpicking. I'm not concerned with what the items purchased and services rendered. that's Mr. Moorcraft and an administrative concern, right? Our concern as a board is that this $146,000 tonight is covered in the budget. It was contemplated when we submitted our budget to the state, that it's accounted for, and that money is still remaining and good to be used. That's my concern.
Sure, I'll revamp the reports that you get so that you can see more information whenever you
Thank
get
you.
it, and then, just let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Mr. Buckton?
Abstain.
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mrs. Kroll?
Yes.
Mr. May?
Yes.
Mr. Pratt?
Yes.
Mr. Menard?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
One abstention, 8 yeses, motion carries. Motion to approve the secretary, treasurer, and other financial reports as presented.
I have a motion.
So,
Oh.
make the motion. I'll second.
Yeah.
All right. Motion.
Okay. I'll second it.
Okay. Do you have any questions? All the way roll call.
Mr. Buckton?
Yes.
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mrs. Kroll?
Yes.
Mr. May?
Yes.
Mr. Pratt?
Yes.
Mr. Menard?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Zucker?
Yes.
Unanimous, motion carries.
Motion carried. Okay, federal programs report. Mr. Moorcraft?
Nothing else for this time.
Legislative report, Mrs. Shute.
Nothing reported at this time.
Public relations, anyone? Nothing to report. Comprehensive plan representative, Mr. Moorcraft. Nothing to report. Okay. CTC representative, Mr. May.
Yeah, we just had a meeting last night, and got some good things to report, and I actually have some bad stuff. But the good stuff is that Mr. Krupa had 30 students that took an OSHA 30 training, which is a higher level of training for OSHA students. And he picked 30 students because they were high achievers, there were no discipline problems, and they had good attendance records throughout the year. So it was a little perk for the really good students that he thought would really benefit by this training. And in addition to that, he had 8 students getting a OSHA-approved forklift certificate, which, you know, can always come in handy. It was pretty intensive from what he told me. He also, the instructor that did the OSHA training, expressed to Mr. Krupa that this is the best group he's ever worked with, and that they were very attentive and very good kids. So that was nice to hear. We also, on the downside of this, and you may have seen, I guess we had some problems on Facebook, and we've had some problems with our adult nursing program. And the problems are personnel related, so I can't really get into it too much. But the students who are in the adult nursing program will graduate on time. We have a class that will graduate tomorrow, and then we have a smaller class that I believe is going to graduate in June. And we had 2 retired teachers come out of retirement. There's Judy Smolger and Tony Lemley, and they kind of helped us out a lot. They were very passionate about making sure these students graduated, and they're very passionate about the program going forward. Mr. Krupa explained to us that we do have some problems, and they're going to spend the summer looking into it and maybe revamping the program, but there will be no students after this group graduates in June. So I just wanted to update you that. Like I said, I think a lot of it was on Facebook, and I'm not on Facebook, but I'm not sure if the information on Facebook was all correct. And the other reason I brought that up is because I want everybody, we have a lot of new board members, and I wanted to understand that we run 2 different things. We run adult programs and we run our student programs. And the money that we put in goes toward the students. It never goes toward any adult program. All the adult programs, whether it be the nursing program or we run a welding program, whatever, they're all self-funded through tuition and grants and whatever. So there's never a mixing of money in that. So I just wanted everybody to understand that our money goes strictly to the students from the county. And that's about all I have. Any
Thank you,
questions
Mr.
on
May.
that?
Any questions?
Okay.
Okay, safety and security, Mr. Pratt.
Nothing to report.
Thank you, sir. Motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you, everyone.
Has anyone didn't get a chance to sign the IU convention form that wants to go?
Jamie, do you want to say that?
Website, so.